Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Oscar Cepeda. I'm the Associate Planner here with the City of Porterville. We're going to go ahead and start today's Project Review Committee agenda. And just for everybody's information in the lobby, the item we have for Parcel Map Committee after Project Review Committee, the item has been continued for a later date. And we'll be able to update that information to any parties. So let's go ahead and start with today's item for Project Review Committee. I'm going to go ahead and do roll call. We're joined by, again, myself, Oscar Cepeda, the Associate Planner, Javier Sanchez, the Engineering and Project Management Director. We're also joined by Jeff O'Neill, our interim city planner. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and open oral communications. This is the opportunity for members of the public to address the committee on any matter pertaining to project review.
Oscar, this is Greg Woodard.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well. How about yourself?
Good. Good afternoon, everybody. Javier and Jeff. I know you had sent me an email that you were following up with the departments regarding my my inquiries into clarification on the PRC comments for River Springs that occurred back in December. Have we gained any ground on that at this point?
We have. I have received some comments back from fire and from building. I believe I'm still waiting on another department. I could start sending those comments over to you, but again, I just wanted to compile all comments in one response. So hopefully I'm able to get that to you by this week, Greg.
Oh, that'd be wonderful. I appreciate that very much. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. That's all I needed.
Sounds good. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public who would like to speak to the committee? Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and close oral communications. Okay, and then again, we're going to start today's item, which is Project Review Committee 2020-028 for the human being there located on West Henderson and J Street. I believe the applicant is proposing or requesting for a parcel map waiver of the property. We're going to go ahead and start with Javier in the engineering and project management department.
Right. Thanks, Oscar. The main comment that stands out is that our development ordinance requires that for a parcel map waiver that all improvements be completed for all parcels involved. And initially when this project came through for the human being, there was anticipation that the parcels would be divided by the time the final would occur. And so we only required improvements on what's approximately parcel A. But if we were to go to the parcel map waiver, all improvements would also have to be in place for parcel B before that waiver would be given. And so what that triggers is, like you are currently doing with the human being project, you know, all public improvements and utility connections would have to be in place. And that wasn't the approach and what construction is currently doing right now, that parcel B is left alone. So so that's what would be required for a parcel map waiver, is construction improvements across the parcel B frontage would have to start taking place now in order to not do just the standard parcel map.
So what improvements are you talking about there?
It would be that what what the human being improvements are doing now. So the landscape strip, offset sidewalk, and then sewer and water stubs to that parcel. I think we're
A
okay.
land- So just putting in the landscape strip, well, see, I don't have water to that parcel. I don't know what's going to be developed there. So it doesn't make sense to put utilities in when, if I put in a 1-inch water line, they may need a 3-inch or whatever. So that doesn't, to me, make sense.
Correct, and that is a difficulty with these parcel map waivers. And the reason why what might be the more applicable avenue would be to do a standard parcel map. So that
Okay.
at the time of building permit submittal for parcel B, which then you'd have an idea exactly what building you'd have, what utility uses it would trigger, then it would allow the deferment of those improvements until that building permit is submitted for.
So I could do a standard parcel map and go ahead and create the 2 parcels without doing all the improvements, correct?
Correct.
I guess, and that's what that's what makes sense, I guess.
Right. And the only, and the thing that stands out from that process is that rather than just using a tentative parcel map and then the work is already done and that's a basis for it, on top of issuing a certificate of compliance, the parcel map will require an official submittal from a licensed land surveyor as a final parcel map. So what it triggers is consultant fees for whatever it's going to take them to do that process.
How long of a process is the parcel map, the regular one?
It's all at staff level. A parcel map does not go to council. So it'd be just once it's submitted, we have our, we don't have a licensed surveyor in-house, so we sub that out to our contract surveyor. And once it gets to a status where it's complete, again, it's just all staff review. And then we just get signatures in. So our turnaround has been like 3 to 4 weeks, Oscar, on the first review.
Yes, with D, yeah.
Yeah, and then depending on how clean that first submittal is, it usually cuts that time in half or a lot quicker if it's just, add this statement or make this one little fix and submit a final right after. I'd imagine, Fred, in your case, that since we've seen the lot line adjustment paperwork submitted, that's going to help, just because everybody's familiar with what is intended to go out here. And pretty much we'd just be looking at whatever is submitted would comply with what's needed to be shown on a parcel map. And should it, at most, it'd be 2 submittals, I'd imagine. One, the first review, and the second one, okay, it's really, really close, fix this, and the next one's an approval.
I see. Okay, and I know, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, so I was just going to add, if we kind of estimate a timeline, let's say, from whenever you submit that, we take, say, the 4 weeks, then it's, a few days, let's say a week to get it back in the workflow of your consultant, then another week. So I'd say somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks to parcel map approval from the time you submit it for our review.
Okay. And I know originally we were looking at having these into 2 separate lots prior to the final. That's not going to be required at this point, correct?
Right. 'Cause how much, when do you expect to get a final?
No,
Like,
right
what's the
now we're just waiting. Yeah, we're waiting on Southern Cal Edison, but I'm saying probably, hopefully 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah, really we're waiting on Edison's timeline, but as far as the remainder of the hard construction, we probably have maybe 2.5 weeks of work left at the site.
Okay. So it's just that delay plus the remaining work and then you're done.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we would.
Well, offhand, is there a requirement of the development that the parcels be created before the final of the construction? Is that one of the original project conditions?
Right, because otherwise the whole parcel is subject to improvements.
Right.
And it kind of goes right back to square one where
Sure.
it extends across the future parcel B.
No, that makes sense. Okay.
Hmm.
Let's we'll look at the overall set of conditions of approval, and obviously we would not want to hold up the imminent final of the developed portion of the project,
Right.
if we can avoid that. So we'll huddle after this meeting and see what we can come up with. But
Okay.
yeah, it sounds like you're amenable to going through the parcel map process, which will get you what you need, which is 2 parcels, one of which is not subject to improvements until you decide to develop it later. So at least I think we're all in accord on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because at a minimum,
Yeah.
you need conditional use to be able to start, or at least temporary occupancy, that he can open,
Yeah, and if there's some way we can facilitate something like that, where it's evident that you're undertaking the process to get the second parcel created, and diligently pursuing that, then that's, again, I'm not saying that's perfect, but that may be the avenue that we're looking at.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get Four Creeks working on the parcel map issue right away. So,
I don't think there's any doubt that it has been his intention to move forward with this. He's been submitting for the lot line adjustment for a year now on the property.
Right.
I went through several plan checks on the lot line adjustment before it got eliminated.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as from planning standpoint, what's being proposed there, as far as the lot size, width, dimensions, it does meet the required development standards for that zone district. So our comments are going to be pretty straightforward with the fees associated with the tentative parcel map. The information needed in order to file for a tentative parcel map. And just so you're aware, I'm just going to go over the fees quickly. Tentative parcel map fee is $1,500. Now, as far as an environmental fee, I believe we could make a notice of exemption for a minor land division, which staff would create a notice of exemption for a $79 fee. We do have a county filing fee of $58. And also because tentative parcel maps do go through a public hearing, we do provide the noticing map and labels for a fee of $26.50. Again, this can be an optional fee, or the applicant can go through a title company, I believe, and get that processed themselves. So
Okay.
after we review the tentative map and let's say it's ready for approval, we'll schedule that for Parcel Map Committee. And then again, we'll send a parcel map, a public hearing notice that requires minimum 10 days in advance of the hearing. And any other comments, it would be just after the tentative parcel map has been approved, how to process the final map.
Okay.
And that's pretty much what's going to be our comments for this project. And of course, in the future, when Parcel B is ready for development, It will require another project review committee meeting for any new commercial development in order just to go over, you know, our standards in regards to what's being proposed at that time.
Okay.
Any other comments from staff for the applicant, or does the applicant have any other questions for staff?
I don't have any other questions at this point.
Me either.
Sounds good. So I'm gonna go ahead and close again, Mr. Fred and Layton. We'll get these comments processed to you in a timely manner, just outlining your next step for a tentative parcel map. I do know that we've already received the preliminary one. I know that there was also a check of $750 submitted with that site plan or with that map. As far as the project review committee fees, for parcel maps, we do charge $500. I know we met in 2020 and it was for a small project fee of $250. So what we would do is just refund that check and have you submit the difference of $250 for the project review committee's project fees in order to take care of that. And then whenever you're ready to submit for your map, just make sure you submit those fees identified for the tentative parcel map.
Oh, okay. You said you'll send me an outline of my required next steps?
Correct. And I could, I have them pretty much typed up. I could email those to you guys after this meeting, but we will send over a hard copy through mail.
Okay. Thanks, Oscar. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you. So we'll go ahead, unless there's any other questions or comments. We're gonna go ahead and close today's project review committee at 1:52 p.m.
Oh, Oscar,
Oh, yes.
yeah, yo nunca he estado, I've never been in a meeting like this, so I don't know if you remember the proposed plan for all was 1139 West Norgren. So
Oh,
this-
yes.
this is the first
1139
meeting.
West North End.
Yeah, so you probably have the sketch.
Yeah, we have that information. We didn't schedule it for today's meeting.
Oh,
As you're aware, it wasn't part of today's agenda.
oh,
We're still looking into your request for that expansion or replacement of that non-conforming structure
yeah,
for use. But we're still digging through our development ordinance to verify if that is an option for you guys. So
okay.
once we get more information, we'll be able to schedule you for project review committee. Most likely it's gonna be for the 23rd.
The 23rd.
Yeah,
Oh.
and then we'll send you an email in regards to that meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay. Well,
Thank
sorry
you.
about that, Alfredo.
okay, no problem.
All right, thank you. Again, we're gonna go ahead and close project review committee at 1:54 p.m.
Thanks.
Thank you.